All right. Disclaimer, forward, whatever. Two things. I took some cannabis tea about 20 minutes ago. It's fast acting and it's going through my bloodstream right now. And number two, I am only talking about a single person in this video. And what I'm about to say should in no way be taken as a representation of all LGBTQ community members. If you try to paint me with the transphobe or the homophobe tag, I may have to upload my next video wearing full makeup with my nails painted again to make a point. Miss me with that bullcrap, you idiots. Let's talk about Mark P. Tjan. Because I believe he is the perfect case study for something that I wish more people were informed about. There is a huge difference between a trans person and an autogynephiliac, or autogynephiliac, or autogynephiliac. You could pronounce it however you want. A friend of mine, he actually brought something up that I think was pretty interesting. It was a study of phantom limb syndrome in a person who was in a car accident. This person lost their left arm and their penis in this car accident. Why it became an interesting medical case study is because they only had phantom limb syndrome for their missing left arm, but they did not have phantom limb syndrome for their now missing penis. This is when they started going into trying to understand, how does the brain perceive the body? I remember seeing something when I was fairly young about the way the brain perceives the nerves throughout the body. Do you know that in general, most people's brain perceives their body as a stick figure with giant hands and feet? Your head, your hands, and your feet are, as far as your brain is concerned, these massive monuments upon which every single microscopic square inch must constantly be monitored and be kept aware of. But your arms and your chest and your torso and your legs, your brain doesn't even really care about that so much. It literally views you like you're a stick figure with giant hands, feet, and giant head. The way the brain perceives the body through neural transmissions and nerve connections is actually pretty fascinating. And in this person's case, their brain never actually perceived their genitalia as being part of their own body. I mean, if you're into medical science stuff, I mean, how does that not fascinate you and interest you? I think that's cool. I want to know more about why that is that way. And in the case of that kind of person, that's a trans person. That is a person for whom their brain literally doesn't perceive their own body. So, of course, they have some type of gender dysphoria going on. I think for most people, that's almost an incomprehensible thing to even think about imagining considering. Like, this is my hand. If I flick these fingers, I'm feeling that, and I can tell it's connected to my body. I smack myself, and I can tell that's my face, this is my chest, that's my arm. I can tell I'm holding a cigarette. I know where my butt and my penis is. Like, my brain is able to comprehend those things. What would it be like for your brain to not perceive part of itself? And then in the case of phantom limb syndrome, what is it like for your brain to perceive part of the body that isn't even there anymore? I find all these things interesting. I want to make a clear point. I'm not some passing hater who doesn't like things that are different. I actually research this. But Mark is not trans. Mark is an autogynephiliac. Mark is a sex fiend. Let's talk about it. The first time I ever heard about him or had any interaction with him was in an RPG fan chat room on Espernet through IRC. And the first time I ever talked to him, this dude who's on staff, Legion, who was, I believe, the first gay member of RPG Fan. And I liked Legion because he was a cool dude who played video games and was able to share his opinion in a fun and playful way. And then he was gay. He wasn't a gay dude who had to tell you he was gay every 5 frickin' seconds. It wasn't his entire identity. His identity was being a person. And then his sexual identity was second. Because that's what's actually normal. I'm just going to say this. You know who else makes sexual identity the foremost thing in their life? Porn stars. And I don't need to be moralized by porn stars. Okay? Back when I used to play 11 with Mark, he played a Mithra. And every day that he logged in, the first thing he would say in the link shell chat every single time is, big tittied, big dicked Fuda Mithra here to party. The red flags and the police sirens started going off in my head pretty immediately. Because, I don't know. A lot of people would say things like that in a joking or jesting way. But it never seemed like a joke when he said it. Anyway, sorry. Got a little ahead of myself. Legion. Okay? Someone who has decided to name themselves after a congregation of evil from the Bible. When they hit you up in a private message and they're like, yo, you don't want to talk to Mark Hidoshi. Like, he's not a good person, man. And I was like, oh, really? Why is that? And he's like, dude, this guy, he brags all the time in like the staff channels about going to bars and like giving fake numbers to women, and you know, after they're drunk, then he just beds them and then he never talks to them again. He's just a womanizer, man. He's like the worst kind of womanizer. I mean, like there's playboys, you know. At least playboys will, you know, keep like 4 side chicks on the line at the same time and at least pay attention to them. He won't even do that. So, I mean, like literally lower than a playboy. Like, damn, dude. And again, when someone named Legion tells you that person's a bad person, yeah, you kind of take that to heart. You kind of pay attention to that. Then there was this one chick, Julie, some chick that he banged in Hawaii while he was on vacation there, and figured, well, you're never going to come to Canada, and I'm probably never going to go to Hawaii again. So he actually did give contact information to Julie. And Pyra, she was cool. Most people liked Pyra. But then slowly it started coming to our attention that when Pyra was like, oh yeah, I just turned 15. And it's like, wait, you're 15 now? So you were 14 when Mark hooked up with you? Mark going after little kids now? Oh. Wow, okay. A lot of us were revolted when she told us that she's just now turned 15. And yeah. That didn't really sit well with anybody at that point. How the hell could it? It's like, dude, you literally went to another state and performed statutory rape on somebody. Are you effing kidding me? You're lower than the devil's balls at this point, man. And, did not like this person at all, man. Holy effing F. Just... kind of feel like I'm gonna puke thinking about this at this point. Anyway, I left the RPG fan community for, it's probably been about 19 years now at this point. But a buddy of mine who used to play with me in Parn, I never made a video about porn, did I? I need to get on that. I need to make another Final Fantasy 11 character video. But I'm not going to name this dude, but he was a buddy of me in porn, and he has been part of the RPG fan community for like 20 years at this point. He's just always been part of it. And he's in their Discord, and he was telling me how Mark, now Emily, big surprise, I'm sure, he just won't. Yeah, I said that. I don't care. F this person. I'll dead name Mark all I want. I don't care. This person's a scumbag. And again, I'm not saying all trans people are. I'm not trying to do that blanket statement crap. Again, get off my case. But this person is a piece of garbage. Kept making threats of physical violence against other people in the community. Until it finally got to a point where they threatened my buddy's friend. And nothing was being done about it. It's like, are you serious? So you're just going to allow this person to ride their flimsy social shield of, oh, well, because I'm trans, you're never allowed to criticize anything I say or do. And if you ever impede my desires, then you're getting in the way of my destiny and you're an oppressor. I'm so sick of that bullshit. That absolute false dichotomy, the redefined words that get thrown around these days. I'm so effing sick of it. And now you're going to let this autogynephilic, sex fiend, pedophile piece of trash get away with insulting and making physical threats against other people, and they're just allowed to do it? Great. I believe eventually they got some type of temporary suspension and a slap on the wrist, but I don't understand what's like, if literally anyone else in the community was making continuous threats of physical harm against other members of a community, they would be outright banned, and that would be the end of the story. But oh no, we have to call the autogynephiliacs trans people. They're not, by the way. Very few people are actually trans. Most of them are sex fiends who use the shield of being trans to get away with whatever they want, like Peter Griffin pretending to be retarded. So, there you go. Just wanted to share that, okay? I've seen this guy in the past. I saw where he was going. I see where he is now. Nothing has changed. Those warning sirens and those red flags were something that I was 100% correct about in that regard. And frankly, I pity anyone who has to engage with this person on a professional level and pretend to tolerate them, because they are the most intolerable person who demands tolerance from other people that I have ever known in my entire damn life. Thanks for listening. Appreciate your time. Don't make your identity based off your sexual identity. Everyone has a skill set that can define you. Are you a writer? Are you a painter? Are you a cook? Are you a chef? Are you a driver? Everyone has skills that can identify them. But instead, now we live in this world where every single person looks like the dude on the cover of the Office Space DVD, where we have to be plastered and painted with so many labels and tags and post-it notes that you can't even see the person beneath all the labels and tags anymore. And I don't want that world for myself. I have few labels that I put on myself. I am a writer, I'm an avid video game player, and I'm a damn good cook. I don't need anything more than that. And for anyone who does, you need to actually do something with your damn life instead of whining on the internet about how life is so unfair to you. Here's a news flash. Life's unfair to everybody. Everyone has problems. Yours aren't special, and neither are you. That's my honest opinion. Take it how you will. God bless. I'm out.